Here is our PrattLast database for Module 4, Chapter 4, and we're going to be creating reports and forms. You should have watched the introduction video already. This will just help you get started. You'll see that someone has already been working in this database quite a bit. There are already some forms and some reports in there. Now again, anytime you open a database, as with Excel, you need to enable content. I'm going to go ahead and make it a trusted document because I'm using this document. That will be fine for me. And you should already be oriented. This is our navigation pane over here. I like to keep the navigation pane on the left-hand side so I can see what's there. There are advantages to maintaining data in a database, and part of that is the ability to present data in reports and forms that highlight certain information. Reports are usually printed, and the data can be pulled from one or more tables. In addition to viewing data, you can use forms to update data. That's a lot easier to do in a form than it is on a table. We can make errors if we enter information in a sheet going this way, but if we use a form, you will notice that it's a lot more space, and we can add some controls in there to help prevent errors. So that is what a form looks like, and then reports can take lots of different shapes. You'll notice the little icon there on the left shows you what kind of a object you're working with, what kind of an access object you're working with. So with this database, PrattLast is better able to keep track of its account information and to target account needs by using this database of accounts and managers. PrattLast hopes to improve their decision-making capability by using 2 custom reports that meet their specific needs. So if you look at page AC for Access 178, you'll see where we're headed. We're going to be making a couple of reports and a form that's on AC 180. Your directions start on AC 181. And report creation, and then the report sections. When you're working with reports in Access, there's 4 different ways to view your report, and you can see those right here under View. So right now you'll see that report view has a pink highlight around it. So we are in report view. You also have print preview, layout view, and design view. Print preview is just like what it sounds. It's what how it's going to print. Layout view gives us some extra ways and handles so we can move things around, and we could expand and contract these columns, for example. And then design view is just how each record is set up. You'll see that that looks even sort of more backstage-ish. So as we change through the different views, we have different options that show up. To get started here, we're going to do some grouping and sorting. I have gotten myself in layout view here on the design tab, and I am running Excel 2013. 2016 is really similar, so you won't have any issues if you're running 2013. Your colors might be a little different if you're running 2016. Just a couple of reminders here. To open one of the objects on the left-hand side, you can just double-click. Sometimes they get the navigation pane gets hidden here, so there's that double arrow. And sometimes, depending on the sorting, you might not see something. If this was just set to only show tables, you would only see tables. It says tables here, but you wouldn't see your report. I like to do object type, and then I'm going to do all access objects so that everything is organized and we can see our reports down here at the bottom. So double click to open the account financial report. Double check to see that you are in layout view. And then you can close the navigation pane if you need extra space to work. So let's group and sort our information in a different way. I'm coming here. I've got the design tab open, group and sort right here. Click Add a Group down here at the bottom, and then we're going to select our field. We want account type, and then our rows are now grouped by account type. These are in no particular order. They're not alphabetical or anything. So let's add a sort. And we want to sort by account number. Oh, right at the top. You'll now notice that these are alphabetical, but if we didn't want them alphabetical, we could revert that order or get more options there. This just shows you all the customization options. So we've grouped by account type and account number, and you can catch up if you're following along with your book on AC 186. Next, we're going to add up the amount paid by account type. So click anywhere in the amount paid column, and then we're going to click the totals button up here, and we want sum. You'll see that in each account type it added a sum in. I will scroll down so you can see that. And all the way at the bottom, we also have another sum there. If we're done with sorting and totaling, we could get ourselves a little more space by just minimizing that. And we can always get it back by clicking on that button there. Click on the button, it makes it go away too. And now remembering that we are in layout view, this is just a bit small, isn't it? So we can get ourselves a little more space around that by just clicking and dragging on the edges of the cell like you would do in Excel. Notice that it also stretched the cells out in the other areas. So you only have to do it once, and it applies down the report. And then you're just going to double check that these cells are set to currency. So we were on the Design tab, now we're on the Format tab. This is currency, currency, and these are all currency down here. Okay, and then I clicked on the current due and added a total to that column, and I clicked on total amount and added a total to that column. And then I'm just checking here, and I see that we have some cells that are not set to currency, so I'll go to Format, and I will select currency. There's another way you can do it. If you pull up the property sheet over here, you've got a Format button, and you can change the format right here as well. I think that's what the book recommends. We're just going to make sure everything is set to currency. I'm looking for the $ there. There's another one that's not. So format for this one would also be currency. And if you're following along, we are now on page AC 188, and we're going to do some conditional formatting. So let's go to the Format tab and the current due column. I'm clicking in there to select. You'll notice it selects the whole column there, and then we'll go to conditional formatting. And we're going to make a new rule. So here's the default here. Check values in the current record or use an expression. We're going to find a value that is greater than or equal to, and that's going to be 3,000. And then if something is 3,000, we're going to make the font dark red. So I'll click that, and dark red is over here rather than just the bright red that was already there. And then we say, okay, here's our preview. We'll say okay. And okay one more time. And then if we scroll through, we can see, as long as we can see that dark red color, that any item over 3,000 is indeed formatted as dark red. Not the subtotals, because it knows that those are subtotals, but just any items within the current due category. Let's take a look at the current due, and we're going to do a little filtering. So again, I'm still in the current due column, and I want to set up my filtering. So I don't really care about those people who don't have a current balance due, so I'm going to take those out. I'm going to click on the one where it's 00, and then right click, and this provides a quick filtering option. I'm going to filter out the ones that do not equal 0, and then that just leaves me the rest of the items. If you're catching up with us, AC 191 is the page that we're on, and that takes out the zeros. And if we want to clear the filter, then we can right click here and we can say clear filters from current due, and you'll see that those come back. Now you'll notice a lot of times in the book it has you do something and then undo it, but that's for practice, because we want to learn how things work. So if we do something and then undo it, rather than using the undo button, you can see how to clear a filter. It's a good idea to save things often in Access, and if you need to take a break, now is a good time to do it. I'm going to go ahead and close that financial report, and then we're going to create a report from several different tables. I like to use the report wizard, so if we're going to create a report, we go to the Create tab. I like to use any of the wizards actually in Access. So we're going to do Report Wizard right here. It's small. It might be a bigger button on your screen because my screen is kind of small. And then we're going to pull a few fields from the Account Manager table. We want first name. I'll pull first name first. This button right here selects one field at a time. This button would select all fields. To go over to selected, this deselects them here, one and then all of them. So we want first name and last name, and then we also want account manager number. And I can change the order there later. Otherwise, what I could do is put them all back, and then if I need them in a certain order, account manager number, first name, last name. That's the way it is in the book. So we'll pull them that way. And then we want to change to the account table, which is at the top. And from the account table, we need the account name, the amount paid, and the current due. We'll click the next button and you'll see what is on the bottom of page AC 195. We want to view, we want to sort by account manager and then by account. So that's already selected for us. So we'll go next. And then do we want to add any grouping levels? It's already got account manager number highlighted, and that is what we want. So let's say next. And here we want to sort in ascending order by account number. All right, I went forward right there, and I did not have account name as one of my options. I went back and forward again, and there we have account name as the option. And then ascending order, it'll let you sort by more than one item, but we'll just do one for right now. Let's click Summary Options, and we want it to sum amount paid and current due. We'll say OK, and we'll go Next. Now, this asks us how we want the report to appear, and we're going to do Stepped, and we're going to switch it to Landscape, so it'll fit a little better on the page. Then we'll go Next, and we are going to name this report Accounts by Account Manager. That's how it's organized. And I always like to preview the report. Let's say Finish. There is our lovely report. And I want to point out that this report now appears down here. Accounts by Account Manager is right here in our table. Now, I've gotten you through page 198. You're going to go on from AC 199, and you're going to create a report in Layout View following the same steps that we have followed, or similar steps. You'll be done when you get to AC 220, and you will have some labels.